If you have a loved one who is disabled, you probably worry about their care after you're gone. Have you heard about a special needs trust? This can supplement government assistance and ensure long-term care. Our legal affairs contributor Craig Wisdom joins us now, and I guess they're also called supplemental needs trusts.
Yes. The idea of this arrangement is to provide some benefit for an individual in this circumstance, and we're thinking of someone that has probably a serious disability that they either now qualify or will need programs like SSI or Altex, whether they just won't be able to, care for themselves and they'll need assistance.
The idea is to create this trust so that this trust doesn't get in the way of those government services.
Right, or other gifts or inheritance doesn't. For instance, if you have an individual that qualifies for this and their parent or even a relative leaves them some amount of money, suddenly it can kick them off the programs that they're on. They'll be disqualified because a lot of these programs are needs-based and they count how much you own. So the idea with a special needs trust is to provide a vehicle for any sort of gifts or inheritance that won't disqualify that person, but will be available for some of the little extra luxuries that people need to get by in life, like dental care and eyeglasses.
Yeah, those little luxuries.
Yes, and things that are a little nicer than that, vacations, things like that.
It requires that a trustee be appointed, correct?
Exactly.
And why is that so important?
Well, the trustee, without a trustee, there is no trust. So the trustee is the person that has to manage this trust, and the essence of a special needs trust is it has to be discretionary. In other words, it has to be up to the trustee how to spend it. It's not going to say pay them $200 every week. It's going to leave all that up into the trustee. And it's probably going to be pretty specially tailored to make sure it doesn't disqualify that person from these benefits.
Does it allow for the trustee to be paid?
Yes. Trustees can be paid for their, reasonable compensation and things like that. They're pretty flexible, especially if they are set up with someone else's money. In other words, if a parent's setting this up for the child, it's very flexible and it really won't impact the child, nor will the government have a claim against that in the end.
And this isn't something that really you can do yourself. You really need an attorney.
Like a lot of things, while it's possible to do it yourself, it's certainly better to have someone qualified to advise you upon the intricacies of what it is and what the person qualifies and what they need.
What happens to that money after the person passes away?
Whatever the document says. So for instance, it can go on to their siblings or other family members. It can go on to a charity that has to do with that person. It's up to the person setting that document up and funding it. What happens when that person dies. It can even give them some flexibility to direct who gets that, for the disabled individual, to direct who receives it themselves if they have that capacity.
And you can also build into this if the trustee passes away.
Exactly.
Or is not able to.
That's always going to be part of a good document to
It's a good thing to do if, in fact, you do have someone like that in your life and you're worried about, what's going to happen to that person.
Exactly. In fact, if you've got that sort of individual as a child or otherwise, it's critical and one of the most important things you can do, because once you die and leave them some money, at that point there's no way around it. They may be kicked off things for a while until they spend that money.
Or somebody else may take it, and you just never know. All right, Craig, thank you so very much.
Thank you.